What do you call the musician who's a fan of Amethyst?
I don't know.
A rock star. Welcome to the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. Welcome to Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with us. And, we've already gotten a reaction. I told you, Tone, that this was a good one. This was a good joke tonight to get us kicked off. I knew I had a winner there. But thank you for spending time with us on a very warm weekend across the United States. And we're happy that you're here. If you're watching on the rewind, thank you so much as well for spending some time with us. It's much appreciated. How was your week, Signature King? What did you do? Was there any comic hunting?
No, I just was able to go to my LCS, and it was a small week. I think there's only 3 issues in my box, so it's really light. Although I think this coming week, I'm going to pay for that. But it's been hot. I was outside cutting some grass. Yard looks nice, but I think I sweat my entire body weight.
Yeah.
It's warm. It's like 95 today, 95.
Well, tell me that you got Mouse Man.
I got Mouse Man?
Yeah, did you get the Mouse Man comic book? He was a Silver Age Wonder Woman villain that was brought back in Tom King's new run in the new issue today.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I picked up the new Wonder Woman. So.
Oh, cool. Then you did get Mouse Man.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Good job. I did a little comic hunting myself. I had Thursday off, so I decided to do a little digging. Oh, I got Crypto's Golden Biscuit, so I'm going to open that up tonight.
Very cool.
We're going to find out if I'm going to Hollyweird. I think I'm going to, but we'll find out.
Dan's right. I ordered this Batman, Absolute Batman. It's a great T-shirt, and it's got a huge Absolute Batman logo. I ordered it in like December or November, something like that. It just came Friday. After all that time. Yeah. I completely forgot that I even ordered it until it showed up.
Well, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it's so weird. It came from Poland.
Oh, well,
I don't care. It's a great, comfortable T-shirt, so I don't care where it came from. But just dude, did they walk it over here? Like, I don't understand.
I don't either. Speaking of great surprises, we have a special guest tonight, a first-time special guest on Fanboys Live, and I'm so excited to finally get the chance to collaborate with her. Candis Barbosa, welcome to the show.
Hello, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Trying to stay cool. I'm a little shiny like a diamond today just because it's really hot. Especially like blasting the AC, drinking a lot of water. I feel like a lot of people that know me, they know I'm from Chicago, so it's very hot over here, but yeah, doing well otherwise.
Awesome. So you and I met, of all places, in a Marvel chat.
I know. So totally opposite. I had to remember, like, wait, what show is this? This is not X-Men.
Yeah, this isn't anything X-Men related. There's no mutants tonight at all. So,
well, I feel like a mutant sometimes.
We all feel that way.
Yeah, that's okay. Accept it. Or have you tried not being a mutant?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay. So, Candis, we're so happy that you're here. For those that might not know you, or tell us real briefly about yourself related to your collecting and what you collect, what you like to read, and anything like that. Who your favorite DC heroes or characters are.
Oh, we have. Okay. So, yeah, as far as just like collecting, I've been collecting for quite a long time. I would say I started collecting actually when I was about 7 or 8. My mom got me into the Archie comics early on, so that was like my first entry to comics, and I kind of like collected on and off throughout my childhood, and then pretty much like through high school, college, nothing really, just maybe graphic novel every so often. But then I would say pretty much like late college, early adult, I had adult money, so I could actually go comic hunting. I just learned about like how many comic book stores there were in Chicago, which is where I'm from. So it's just wild. And then I think maybe around 2020 or 2021, I found the comic community, which was a great way, of course, to meet all of you guys and find people that love the same things that I love, which, sometimes those people are hard to find until you know where to find them. But as far as DC, I would say definitely all the ladies of DC for sure. I really love Harley Quinn and Ivy, especially like them as a duo and a lot of their side series that they do together. I would say, a lot of times I pretty much will gravitate to more of the females. So I really love Zatanna. I've been really getting into her lately. She's another one where I feel like, I know she has like her own newer series nowadays, but I feel like she's someone that's not as talked about in comparison to like Wonder Woman or Harley or something like that.
Yeah, she's a great character that doesn't get as much recognition.
Yeah, and that's pretty much why I picked this week's character as well.
I'll be asking you more about that in depth when we get closer to that.
But, I feel like I've been, of course, like on a Marvel kick for a while, so it was really fun to just like dive into some DC and get familiar with new character and just talk about something different.
Well, we're excited once again that you're here tonight. We're also excited for some folks that are joining us in the live chat, starting with our special guest. Candis is in the live chat. So thank you for being first in tonight.
Of course, had to.
Yeah. Happy birthday to...
Is that your birthday?
Today is his birthday.
Oh my God, happy birthday, John.
I certainly hope it is. Otherwise, I sent the stripper on the wrong day. Don't tell his wife. Don't tell Mrs. Comics with Kids. So...
I thought you meant paint stripper.
That's what I meant. Yeah. And happy birthday, John. Thank you for being here. In honor of your birthday, Tony will now sing happy birthday to you.
Do you want that? No, never mind. I can't.
Unfortunately, that was all our budget allotted for this week. So I tried.
Yeah, next week, everybody.
Candis, you know what I told John? What truly my gift was to him for this year?
Yeah.
It was forgiveness, because he sure ranked me over the coals on that Omni X-Men show this last week. So I told him my gift was forgiveness, and that was a huge gift.
That's perfect.
Yes. Dan is here, D. Piercy's Comics. Love that opening joke. I know he did. Meow to the Jackson Roykirk. Oh, they go together like magnets. So, as we mentioned, Dan got the shirt as well that Tony was talking about. Jackson Roykirk knows that I got the golden biscuit. Jackson, excited that you're here, as we are as well. And even though it's not Marvel, he's going to still participate. Gore is here. Amethyst was rejected membership in Section 8. Oh, Section 8. Section 8 is an interesting topic on this show.
Yeah, I don't know what that actually means.
Trust me, keep it that way.
Okay.
That's level heroes.
If someone starts talking Section 8 to you, run.
Okay.
Run.
Controversial. Got it.
Yes. Oh, we have another fellow Harley fan for Harley fan. Jedi is here for Tony tonight, showing some support.
Right.
John is 21 tonight, so I know he's very excited about that too. So. And we'll keep acknowledging the chat as they continue to join us. So, what's going on news-wise, Mr. Tony?
It's been pretty quiet. I can only find one mildly interesting article. The lady who played Mantis, Pom, I can never pronounce her last name.
Starts with a K.
Yeah, right? Starts with a K. Yeah. Her role in the new Superman movie has been revealed.
Oh, really?
I didn't hear.
What do you think she is?
Let me ask while I'm thinking for a second. Candis, are you excited for the Superman movie, or is this something you're going to see in theaters, or wait till it streams, or where are you at with that?
I feel like it would be a good one to see in theaters for sure. Both me and my boyfriend try to go to the theater for any of those kind of movies. Haven't watched a good Superman in a while, so I just want to definitely. I'm hoping this is a good one for sure.
I think that's the general consensus for everyone.
Thinking positive for it.
So, any idea who she could be playing? Because I also did hear that James Gunn said there are other characters that have never been mentioned on the internet that will make a little cameo here or there in the movie. But who could Pom be playing?
I have no clue.
There are Well, while you think about that, there are other people's roles who have been revealed. Bradley Cooper and Michael Rooker
Ooh.
have also had their roles revealed in the Superman movie. So, what do you think?
I'm going to guess for Palm Roulette.
Roulette? Okay.
Yeah.
Good guess.
You have any guess, Candice, or not?
No, I feel like I don't like. I know very basic like Superman characters, so I
Sure.
wouldn't even be able to know like what other extra characters they probably
Okay.
picked from, to be honest.
That's
but
fair.
but that's cool. To have all of them, like jumping ship from Marvel going to DC. That's fun.
So the Guardians of the Galaxy will be reunited in the DC movie, and they are playing the Fortress of Solitude robots.
Oh, okay. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, I think there's 12 of them, and those are the 3. Another one is voiced by Alan Tudyk. So
Yeah, of course we know him from the Doom Patrol series too.
Doom Patrol, yep, and
Yeah.
Mr. Nobody, yeah.
Nobody. Is Cal-X one of the robots?
I don't know.
Okay. Cal-X is like the only robot I know from the Fortress.
It doesn't say the names of the robots, but I mean that makes sense that one of them is probably going to be
Cal-X. Yeah.
I would imagine it's probably Alan.
Yeah.
Using the trailer. So.
Well, I look forward to finding out before all of you because I'm sure the winning for Crypto's Golden Biscuit is inside here that I'm going to open in a few minutes.
What would it be like if you won it like live?
If I win this live, my retro review is going to really suck because I'm not going to be focused at all on it. I'm going to be going, I have to get my phone and text my friend.
Gotta tell everyone I know.
To tell him to take off work because we're going.
We're going.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be a great experience to find out. I did Google to see if anyone has won it yet, but nothing came up from an internet search. But
well,
like I said,
how many did they say there were?
2
in the whole world,
essentially.
Okay.
2.
So hopefully, watch to go by and nobody wins it.
I think it would be I think it would be horrible if you picked up the book after the contest ended and realized you had a winning entry.
Oh my god!
Wouldn't that be? That would be worse than not winning at all. I think.
Some kid finds it in a dollar bin. You know what I mean?
Like years later.
Like 50 copies of it.
I could have won. Yeah.
Oh my god! I hope not. Well,
yeah. Like I said, there was only a week turnaround because the book went on sale this past Wednesday, and you have to claim it by this upcoming Wednesday.
I feel like that's not enough time.
No, it isn't. Not really.
I think that if nobody wins, if nobody claims either prize, someone's gonna be putting like these books are gonna skyrocket in value. Someone's gonna want to find that stolen ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Open to all.
Oh, look at that! Those cheaters. Because if there would have been a winner, they weren't going to put it out.
Yeah, the LCS one was just.
That's true.
Yeah. Interesting. Hello to Kenneth Bird, who stopped by. Hope Virginia is cooler than the Midwest is.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So some news that I found. DC Comics is going to be distributed in the United States by Universal. That was a big story this week.
Universal,
and that doesn't mean
Universal Studios?
Universal, yeah. That doesn't mean that Lunar's out of the picture. As a matter of fact, the article went to say that Lunar solely distributing DC or any comic book for that thing is a monopoly, which is what got us into the entire mess before with Diamond. So it's a good thing that Universal is going to be here. Universal has been doing Canadian distribution, but now they have a U.S. facility in Indiana, which Candice and I will go over someday and tour. And they don't know it yet. We're just going to show up with brownies.
We'll be there.
So that's going to be interesting, that there's another player, so to speak, in the game.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, 97. That makes sense.
Yeah. Other news-wise that I have is I usually talk about some of the facsimiles that get announced. And DC put out their solicitations coming up for September. And those include a few facsimiles as well. I'll share a screen for you. This is coming out as a facsimile. Batman 635. So,
Very
course
nice.
classic Red Hood. That will be coming out with the regular cover, the foil variant, the blank sketch cover, and a Superpowers variant on September 3rd. And there is the Superpowers variant.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Candice, do you like these facsimile comic books?
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that's either like really, really hard to get, then I definitely will pick that up. Or sometimes there's something that is a little different with like the cover or something like that.
Yeah.
One of the things they've been doing recently is they've been facsimiles for Archie, which I'm like, why is that a thing? I can feel like Archie, like the newer Archies are not even that old yet to be making facsimiles. But
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of a funny thing. So it kind of depends what it is, but that's something I'd rather get the actual book if I can. But I do like that. I think Fatsima is right. They always have the actual ads that were used, though, right? I think
Yes,
so.
they do.
Which that I do like about
Mhm.
reading any kind of just older comic is just looking through, like even the one that we read today, and just like seeing what the ads were. So I'm like,
Sure.
I like that facsimiles. They'll keep that in because that's fun to see.
That's cool. Here's a book that probably an original won't be in any of our collections, although
Yeah.
it would be nice. But Batman 1 is coming out as a facsimile, but this time it's going to be in the original Golden Age size.
Oh, that's cool.
How many
Yeah.
times are they going to make this a facsimile? I think this
I
is
don't
the
know. They
third
already
one.
have a lot. And there's the cover, a foil variant cover, blank sketch cover. And that's September 17th.
Oh, nice. My
Yeah.
birthday.
And then, okay. And then one more that will be coming out in the month of September for the facsimiles is kind of a surprising choice that I thought for sure. But it's New Fun and facsimile edition, New Fun Comics #1. And I think this was a treasury size, and I think it's coming out as a treasury size as well. And there'll be a foil variant for that as well, September 24th for this. So yeah,
Very nice.
that's kind of what I have for news, unless you have anything else.
Oh, yeah, I do have one more.
Sure.
Did you see okay, so we talked about Batman Deadpool. Did you see the new crossover they announced?
I mean, we've talked about it on the show, but I haven't looked at the cover art or anything.
No, but I mean, there's a new one. So we have Batman Deadpool.
Mhm.
That's a story. They
Yep.
announced a new team up. The Wonder Woman.
Oh, really? No, I didn't hear this.
And Wonder Woman and Captain America.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool.
That's really fun.
Yeah. Written by Chip Zdarsky.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great
Got
fun.
some cover art now, but I won't spoil it because they said it's not final. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Super
Wonder
Russ
Woman and Captain
9000.
America.
Thanks for checking in. I'm going to be doing a cool stream with Super Russ this upcoming week that I'll talk about later on in the stream. So, no, I didn't hear the Wonder Woman Captain America. You'd think I would have heard that right away.
Right?
So,
I just saw it today. I don't know when it
Okay.
came, the announcement made, but the article was from today.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I do want to say that I hope all our friends that were at Heroes Con this weekend had a great time too. We're sorry that we couldn't be there with you, but hopefully someday we can.
Yeah, it looks so fun. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
So
definitely
before we
will.
get into the retro review, is it time to unleash the bone?
Yeah, unleash your golden bone upon us.
Yeah?
You got this.
All right. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Calling you out.
Yep. Crypto and Jeff the Shark team up. Don't know anything about that yet. Probably a variant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So inside this book, inside the front cover is the winner. Or it's going to say if you, on the bottom here, inside it's going to say if you won or not. I have seen what the not a winner looks like. So I guess it's time to see what the winner looks like. Now, good thing that John isn't in the chat, because you know he'd be rooting against me.
I would freak out if you won.
I'm going to.
I think that'll change the stream if you win.
I think it will.
Okay, I can't talk about Amethyst anymore. We got to talk about you winning.
Why does it say sorry you didn't win?
Oh, see, I saw the edge of the bone. It was gold. I'm like, what?
I know. I saw golden. I'm like, wait.
Well, I tried.
No. We tried.
Womp, womp, womp.
My heart skipped a beat for just like a
I
second.
know.
You know what I mean?
I was like, wait.
I would have been
Did he
like,
actually
I'm
win?
out of here.
end the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
I've been okay with it. Hey, man, you won a once in a lifetime. Or like, what are the odds? Like 1 of 2.
That would be
You just grab the 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what the thing is now? If I hear someone from my LCS where I bought it at won it, then I'm like, it could have been me. I just picked the wrong copy.
right.
It could still be you if you beat them up and take it.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
true.
just go back.
I mean, they have to have there's a +1. If I could be the +1 for whoever wins.
Yeah.
I got to be nice to everybody now.
You do.
I got to turn over a new cape. So, Tony, we're going to start with the preview tonight at the Legion of Superheroes preview. So tonight for the retro review, I had our special guest. I said it's pretty much, if we haven't reviewed it yet, it's good to go. So tell us, Candis, why you picked Amethyst tonight.
Yeah. Well, I would have been honestly surprised if you would have probably done it already. But Amethyst is a series I haven't really dived into. I've had it for probably the longest time in my short box. I want to say I found it pretty at random, but I just thought she was really cool. She definitely looked like a lot of other female characters that I've seen in like 80s, 90s cartoons like growing up. So I really liked that. And from what I like knew about it, I just liked the idea of like the whole gemstone, getting magic from that, and just kind of any kind of like magical aspect I like in comics. So I figured that I would really enjoy that. I didn't know about that first preview issue though. So I was glad that you told me about that, Ryan. Just because like I feel like it added like a lot of context for sure. And I didn't have access to that one at first. So definitely glad that we're covering all 3 of those. That one, which is a preview insert. So yeah, I was telling Ron, I was having a hard time actually finding it because in the digital copy that I had, they actually didn't include it because I guess it was like a 16 issue or page that was inside. Was it 298?
298 of Legion of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes. So,
which incidentally, last Sunday I saw that book,
really?
Legion of Superheroes 298, inside an Ollie's comic pack at Ollie's. I mean, I didn't buy it, and I didn't know at that time, because I didn't ask you until Monday what we were picking. I just thought it was so random that I would find that book in an Ollie's last Sunday. So
yeah, and it's hard to know even if you get like a raw copy. Like, does it even have the insert in it? I don't know. So
the raw copy should, because I think that they were produced that way. This was something that DC was trying out around this time, which is 1983.
Yeah, I heard that.
And other books like even New Teen Titans started out as a preview inside a DC Comics Presents.
That's cool.
Other books, All-Star Squadron was a preview inside a Justice League book when they were revamping Wonder Woman, and that's when she changed from the from the eagle to the double W symbol. They did that in a DC Comics Presents preview. Wow. So that was kind of a thing they were doing for a while. I always like these mock covers because they're actually printed on the same type of interior paper. But this is like what the cover would have looked like had it been published separately. So
yeah, I was imagining like an actual like, it's still kind of staple and you can kind of pull it out like what you do with like a poster or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't realize it was like printed like that too. Okay.
Yeah. I want to say hi to Greg, answer his question real quick, and then I will kick us off tonight on the retro review. Hi, Greg. The winner gets a round trip to the Superman movie premiere. But it has to be claimed. The comic book went on sale this past Wednesday, and it has to be claimed by this upcoming Wednesday. And there's 2 winners, so that's what
in the whole world. There's 2
in the
winners,
whole world. So. Yeah.
Well, you forgot about like if you win, it's like Charlie and Chocolate Factory, but instead you get to go to James Gunn's house and you get to see his wacky tour that he gives. He's on a Segway. I
don't know what he's talking about.
Not a thing.
I think that's in the Signature King wish list book.
I'd go to a James Gunn tour of his house. You know, to see where he makes all his stuff.
Would you go if you? Let me ask you this: would you go if you weren't invited?
Well, how would I go if I wasn't invited?
That doesn't stop some other people. Exactly.
Good news
there's actually an episode of Big Bang Theory about that.
Oh yeah.
Good news is I got the tour. Bad news is I'm a felon now.
Yeah, exactly. So click us off into the first page, and here we go. I'll take it away with the special Amethyst preview. We're in a world that says that's not like our own, where there's a lord and master. The ruler of this world is Dark Opal. And he's talking to his blacksmith. He says, you have to do this exactly precise, or your forge will burn no hotter than my wrath for you if you fail. So I'm like, already we're at someone that's got a temperament. And he says this breastplate you fashion is to be no ordinary armor, but it's the mean to unleash the very true mystic energies of the Gemworld itself. He possesses the fragments of 10 gemstones, in addition to the Dark Opal, which is his by right of birth. All that he is missing is the amethyst. And then he has it. So I always liken this somewhat to like what it would be to have like an infinity gauntlet. That's kind of the way I thought of it too.
Me too.
And he talks about his son, Carnelia, and is the chosen heir of his. And he says he will challenge me to gain, he will help me to gain the 12th and final gemstone, the amethyst. So all of a sudden news comes to him, great news. And they say, what is it? And he says, well, the witch mother, Citrina, has left Castle Amethyst with Amethyst. And he's like, where are they going? And he's like, I don't know. Citrina and the princess are traveling with one another, and it's so unlikely that they're ever out of this castle, and they are alone in this environment. So they're like, oh, that's interesting. I need to attend to this. And that essentially kicks us off into our story. So as we move over, we have Amethyst with Granch, and she says they've just landed in a place in Gemworld. She's like, this is beautiful. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. She says Citrina made it sound like she was sending us someplace horrible. And he says, hey, we're in the bog of 1,000 despairs, princess, and you're going to find out that it lives up to its name. And she's like, but it's so beautiful. And he's like, take a few more steps and you'll see that the forest is gone. And that is the first despair. So she decides she better change into something a little bit more suited to this place. And Granch reminds her, be careful to save some of your magic for the dangers ahead. And there certainly are dangers ahead, because the hags in the Well of Vision have located them. And now Dark Opal is wondering where they're at and what their mission is. And one of the hags says, well, you know, there's so many dismal places in Gemworld, it's hard to tell exactly where it's at because one place kind of bleeds into the next. And he says, well, you know, this is truly the beginning, because he's going to go after the amethyst stone. So in the meantime, he leaves his other jewels that he has with his son and tells him, you know, you got to make sure that this gets taken care of, because I'm going to attend to Amethyst. And he also wonders, Dark Opal that is, what good is it to see my enemy if it brings me no closer to her? And she says, well, you know, through the spear of sight, we've at least located her, and you can send some of your magic forth through the spear and go after them. And that's exactly what he does, because Granch and Amethyst start to get attacked, and she's never seen anything like this. And he starts to take a whack at it as well. But Granch gets taken out pretty fast, and she's like, okay, if I've been holding back my powers, it's for a moment like this. So it is time to fire away. And that's exactly what she does. You can flip to the next page, and she takes care of the threat right away. And Dark Opal is seeing exactly how powerful the princess is and how foolish it is to attempt a physical attack. You know, it's something that a novice will never master. And Granch says to her, to the Princess Amethyst, I'm afraid that I detect a familiar and sinister hand in this. And Dark Opal knows, and Amethyst knows as well, that this is really Dark Opal that's coming after them. Then all of a sudden, another presence starts to come forth too. And she wonders at the same time, Amethyst does, why they're not being attacked in person. So she starts to react to like this vortex that's opened up, and it's really draining and feeding off of her magic, and she can't stop it, and she needs help. So Granch takes this big rock, the biggest he can find, and essentially plugs up this tunnel. He only guessed that it would work, saying that it was swallowing immaterial objects, so it might choke on something solid. And that is exactly what happened. So Amethyst says the same thing happened when I was 8 and I threw a steak bone down the garbage disposal. And he's like, what? And so we kind of get an idea here that there's an element to the real world tied in with this. She says she'll explain later. So Dark Opal's upset that she's made it through 2 obstacles already. When one of the hags interrupts him, and he's very upset to be interrupted, but she lets him know that the Spear of Sight shows the princess has reached her destination. She enters a cave, and then they realize exactly where she's going. She's walking into the cave that they're in right now. And there they are. And Amethyst and Dark Opal are face to face. We cut away at this moment back to the forge that's going on in the Fortress Opal. And they're wondering where Carnelia, hopefully I pronounced that correct, has gone off to. And what business would it be of his to disobey Dark Opal's command to stay here? But he said it was urgent business, so he had to take away. So they continue to forge, to work on the forge that they're working on. But really, Carnelia is nearby indeed. He's that little snake that's walking across the boots on the bottom, unseen and unbeknownst to them. And he goes on to say, my father would have me for dinner if Lai ever found me out, but I can't let his plan succeed, nor allow him to cast me out of my place. So the stones are getting set, and they need to be placed in the fire. He's given the order to do so, but gingerly. And he starts to do it. They start to place it in there, but all of a sudden, leaping out of the flame, chaos is absolutely unleashed, and they know that they have to protect their breastplate with the stones that are in it. So chaos so magnificent, it's inspire awe and dread. And they're like, well, that's not exactly what we were expecting. We cut back now to Dark Opal and Amethyst in the cave, and he says, so it was the Well of Vision that you requested after. And he says, Citrina must hold the knowledge of it long forgotten uses, otherwise why would she risk you, princess? And he turns around and he starts to fire on her. And he's like, you've delivered me really what I want. You have the last stone that I need, and I'm going to get it from you. And she's like, no, you're really not. She's like, my gemstone power matches yours, and you seem to have left your opal at home. And he's like, you're a babe in arms, and your gem alone does not put you near my rank. And they fire back and forth. When all of a sudden Dark Opal is interrupted, he's getting news on what just happened with the chaos that erupted over as they're trying to forge that breastplate. While he's looking away, Amethyst reaches in really fast into the water and grabs something out. Dark Opal doesn't see this. Amethyst has what she needs. She tells Granch, we need to escape. I have the liquid. And they start to retreat. So the 3 hags are ordered by Dark Opal to take off after them and not to fail. So they essentially form like this Hydra type thing with multiple heads. And they take off as Dark Opal has been summoned back where the breastplate was being forged, and he sees the chaos that has gone down. What's happened? It's some type of mishap. They don't know what happened. He says, how can I rule this world with incompetence at my side? He's like, silence, you fool. Count yourself lucky that your mishap did not occur with all 12 stones in place. So for him, the news isn't as bad as it could be. He says, otherwise this fortress, perhaps the entire Gemworld, would now be reduced to ashes. So we have a sense of how powerful this could be. So there in the fire is his goal, the source of the frenzy that threatens to destroy a world. And at the center of that is the gem, the opal. That is his birthright stone. No matter what mad forces courses through it now, it's still subject to Dark Opal's will, and it's at his command. And he grabs a hold of it, and you can see the power surging through it. And it stops the chaos that had been going on. The lunatic enchantments are stilled, and the forge is cold. So now we cut back to Granch and Amethyst. They're like, no one's on our tail. I think we're okay. But all of a sudden they realize this massive bird is after them. It grabs a hold of both of them. Amethyst tosses what she retrieved from that well over to Granch and says, okay, I'm going to get you free. Take care of this. My safety isn't as important as it is to get you out of here with what we retrieved. So she stops the bird. She realizes when she does, using her magic by stopping it, that it's the 3 hags that turned into the bird. And she's like, I don't care what Citrina says. I'm never going to get used to this place. I can't worry about that now. First of all, I'm falling from the sky. I need to save myself. But better yet, my mom and dad might be worried about me. So I'm going to teleport back. And she does, and lands into her bedroom. We see that she's a 13-year-old girl. She's got an awesome Wonder Woman poster behind her bed right there that I loved. And her her mom comes in to see what the noise is about. We find out her name is Amy, and she's like, yeah, Mom, I'm okay. I'm just having a bad dream. How can I tell them the truth? They think I was crazy, but sooner or later they'll have to know that their 13-year-old daughter is really Amethyst. And that is the preview issue. So that wraps up our first one. Tony, you can pull up issue 1. And then we'll have Candis take care of the review for issue 1, which she's holding right there for you too. Yeah. Okay, just give Tony a moment to pull that up, and then we'll let you get kick-started.
Oh, time out. Doesn't like my ad block.
Okay.
Let's see. Should be good. Yep.
Okay, take it away, Candis.
All right. So here we have issue 1. So, of course, this is following the preview that we just read, and it starts a 12-part maxi-series, which I've actually never heard that term used before, as long as I've been reading comics, which I thought was interesting. But, yeah. So, diving on in, it opens to
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just gonna find it.
Okay.
It fights with my ad blocker.
Okay, no problem.
So I know.
Well, I'll actually say a couple things just about the cover.
Sure.
So I actually really do like the cover a lot, just because the princess is very front and center, and obviously her color reflects the amethyst gemstone. And I really liked the background too, just because like it's a little bit nod to the villain, but then it also just adds like a really nice texture and complements the purple and the yellow.
Yeah,
So,
it is a good cover.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can still dive on.
Yeah, go ahead and kick it off, and we'll catch up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, I could try to open.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, perfect. So here's the cover, and then we can go to the next page. Okay. So as you can see, it opens to a splash page where, if you didn't read the preview, we are introduced to Amy Winston, which I thought was a very smart name, Amy Amethyst. We learned that her parents aren't her real parents. She's called a fondling and changeling child, and she's the orphaned heir to a mystic throne. Next one. Okay. And it's her 13th birthday, which in the preview issue, I was surprised just how young she actually was. And there's that little green creature that we don't know who that is, and he appears through a portal and secretly delivers a gift to Amy, which is a purple amethyst gemstone. And she thinks the gift is from her parents, but it's not, and they don't know what to tell her. They're like, we definitely did not give her that. And then, so Amy returns to her room, and she's just very excited about this jewelry and that her dad did not get her a Barbie doll this year, that her mom definitely had something to do with it. And she decides to open up her closet door, and out pops this ogre who addresses her as Princess Amethyst and takes her through the portal, kidnaps her, and basically threatens to kill her. So then, let's see. So once the ogre grabs Amy through the fortress, to Fortress Opal, which rings a bell in her memory, but she doesn't know why. And we find out that ogre is named Belaz, and one of the guys who meets them upon their arrival is Sardonyx, who was in that preview issue. Or am I on the right page? Yeah, there. Did I skip ahead? Or
I have no idea. Take your word for it.
Okay. Oh, maybe I did. Sorry. I did skip it. Sorry, my bad. So if you go back to page 4, I did skip that. It shows like her actual transformation, where she kind of like starts feeling like she's cold and hot, and then she hits puberty very, very quickly and transforms into Princess Amethyst with costume and all. Okay. And then back to where we were, sorry. So then we get to, a big splash page, and she arrives at the Fortress Opal, and as I was saying, the ogre is named Belaz, and she meets Sardonyx, who we met in that other issue, and he mentions like the master will be pleased that she's here. And I realized that also Sardonyx is named after a gemstone. I was Googling all these names to see what people's names were gemstones, so I thought that was really interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, some of them are like similar. Like Citrina is probably like Citrine. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a fun thing that they've been playing with, like Fortress Opal, you know.
Yeah.
So after that, let's see. Make sure I'm on the right page here. All right. Yes. Okay. So Sardonyx confirms that Amy is the true Princess Amethyst, even without her pendant. She doesn't understand what is going on. And Sardonyx tells her that she's destined to die. And then basically all of these guys get really pervy with her, grabby with her. So she uses her powers to attack them, which, I mean, she doesn't really know that, like, how she's doing it. She's just, using her force to get them away from her. And she breaks free from their clutches. And then, the ogres are attacked and maimed by Granch, who we again were introduced to in the preview. And this was definitely something that was really good about reading the previews. We were already introduced to all these characters, so we recognized them going into this one. So yeah, he actually pretty brutally kills him. And then Granch introduces himself to her and tells her, like, just trust me, I'm your friend, I'm here to protect you, let's get out of here. And that they need to escape right away because, like, the two enemies that have survived are going to be after them. And of course, obviously, Amy has a lot of questions and just, like, takes in this new world as they're escaping. And then Granch brings Amy to Citrina, and someone else that we were familiar with, and we learned that from her that Amethyst is the heir to the House of Amethyst. And she's really happy to see her, but we don't understand really what their relationship is, and of course neither does Amy. So Granch stays behind to protect Citrina and Amethyst from the monsters as they escape. And let's see. And then Granch refers to Citrina as Witch Mother, so that kind of tells us a little bit about who she is, and possibly what kind of powers she has. And then Citrina orders Granch to escape as soon as he can and not to go fight Sardonyx alone. And then, there goes Granch brutally cracking this creature's jaws. They try to get away. And then Amy's like just deciding to blindly just trust these two people that she just met and just hoping that they really are the friends that they claim they are.
Seems safe.
I know, right? Good logic. So then the next page, we learn that Sardonyx is actually called the Lord of Serpents, and he's going to have to admit to his master, Lord Opal, that he's failed to capture Princess Amethyst and her gemstone. And meanwhile, Amethyst and Citrina arrive at Castle Amethyst. And we can already see that Citrina is definitely an older woman, and she definitely, any power that she does have is just not as strong as it used to be in the past. So anything that she does is like, it's very like for a minute, and then she kind of is already tired from it. And then, so yeah, just Amy is just like looking around at the castle, really thinks it's just like this fairy tale like castle with all these like purples and pinks, definitely matching the Amethyst vibe. And like something deep inside her though feels like she actually has returned home. And then, Amy's led to her princess chambers by her ladies' maids, and I thought it was kind of funny that they're like, oh, we wish it could be grander, but like as if it's not, like nice already. But I guess they do say though that the Violet Realm has fallen in hard times though since the departure. And then and Amy is still questioning basically everything. And kind of just like they mentioned that she's been here before and she doesn't know like when that was and how long ago has she been away. She doesn't know anything. She's just listening to what they're telling her. And then 13. So then, well, let's just throw in there. They decide to just give her a bath, because why not? Just throw that in there. And then she takes just a little nice, like she chills out, takes a nice nap in there, and then the next morning she is transformed into her full amethyst, full princess costume. Lots of purple, of course, which I really like her costume a lot. And then now then she goes to meet Citrina again, and she just tells her that she wants to go home because her parents must be worried. And Citrina explains to her that those are her Earth parents and that she is definitely not on Earth right now, but this is the world of her birth. So in another life, she was Amethyst, the heir to this house of the same name, and she's been brought to Gemworld, which used to be a very happy place. And kind of like to give some lore, she explains that there was 12 houses that ruled the Gemworld, and each was represented and protected by its own powerful gemstone. And then only royal blood can wield the powers of the gemstone. So everyone in the Amethyst house was very happy that there was possibly going to be another heir, with her being born. And then next page. So we get to learn more about Amethyst's parents, who are Lady and Lord Amethyst, and they were really well loved by their people. They ruled the Gemworld very, very peacefully. However, Dark Opal, or Lord Opal, started a war against their people, and he made pacts with evil forces from the other grim netherworlds and fought alongside them in Sardonyx, who we know, and next page. Then before the battle, Lord and Lady Amethyst ordered Citrina to protect Amethyst, so she created a rift in time and space to hide her in another world, which we know was Earth. And she faked Amethyst's death, but Lord Opal was not easily convinced by that. He figured that she still was out there somewhere. And then, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Lord Opal is then basically, because there was no one else to rule, he was the new ruler of Gemworld. And Citrina was the survivor with the highest rank of the House of Amethyst. But while this was all going on, she was just like planning to dethrone him for just years and years, but she had to, of course, wait until Amethyst was of age to rule the kingdom. And after hearing all this, Amy just has no interest in being a princess at all and just wants to go home. And Citrina's like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll take you home. And also, I just thought this was kind of just a visual thing. I was very mixed on this large head thing. I kind of like it because it's a little different than anything I see, but then it's also kind of like, I don't know, just kind of silly.
It's a little much.
Yeah, but that's okay. So next page. Citrina explains to Amy that the time kind of works a little differently between Gemworld and Earth, and that Amy's only been on Earth for 13 years. However, it's been 20 years have passed in Gemworld, and then explains, of course, why she is a grown woman there. So while they're talking, their conversation is interrupted, and the House of Amethyst is attacked by the House of Opal and Sardonyx. And Citrina's like, okay, girl, we gotta go. There's a lot of work to do. And Amethyst is upset because Citrina said she'd take her home and she brought her here in the first place. So, of course, she's like, very like 13-year-old still, like, whining, I just want to go home. And Citrina tells her, like, you need to protect the house because now everyone is in danger since you showed up. So now it's all on her, basically. And next page, 13. So basically, Citrina's like, yeah, too bad. The lives of these people are your responsibility now. And Amy just really isn't understanding the seriousness of the situation. After all, like, she is like still like internally, I'm sure, 13. And this is part of another splash page, which they've really been putting a lot of just like fun like splash pages throughout. I kind of liked how they kind of did that there, just like with the little panels, but then still like a overarching splash page there. So as you can see there, then Citrina and Amethyst are just overlooking the chaos of the battle below. And then Citrina shows Amethyst how to basically create a defensive dome using mystic energy. And she tells Amethyst, okay, so if something actually happens to me, you're going to have to lead the battle. So no pressure there. Sardonyx breaks through the dome, and just because, as we kind of saw before, Citrina's magic isn't very strong anymore. So he was just easily able to break through, and she just falls to the ground. Then back on Earth, only actually a few minutes have passed, but Amy's parents, they actually did hear her scream when she was, of course, kidnapped by the ogre, and they went to her room to check on her, but they can't find her. And however, her dog knows that she's coming back. The dogs just have a good sense about those kinds of things. And so then back to Gemworld, Citrina tells Amy that she must save them, but of course she doesn't know how. She's like, don't think about it too hard, just go with it, just do it, and somehow that just activates her powers. But there's really no time for her to learn how to use the powers because they again are just immediately under attack. And Amy's like, I don't know what to do. We have nothing to there's no way to stop them. And Citrina's like, well, we got you though. And she's like, okay, so that's like no pressure then, right? So then next page, Citrina tells her that she has the power because she has her stone, and because like she's powerful just because they're within House of Amethyst. So again, just she's figuring out how to use her powers, and she's able to unlock her powers potential and just hurls her purple mystic energy at the House of Opal, which like keeps them stunned for a little bit. And then next page, or I am on the next page, sorry. And then let's see where we're on. Again, 22. Okay. Yeah, and again, another splash page. And Sardonyx threatens that if he can't capture Amethyst, he's just going to kill her. And Citrina just like talks back at him and calls out Lord Opal for actually not coming after them and sending him instead. And that doesn't mean that like they will go after him if they have to. So then after Sardonyx leaves, Amy's just beside herself, just bursts into tears. And again, just like Dorothy and Alice, she just wants to go home. And Citrina, she does feel for her, especially because like she had no time to kind of figure out her abilities. And like she originally, her plan was like, we're going to just like ease into you learning them and like taking on these like big responsibilities. But of course, like that's not what happened. So she shows Amy how to like activate the power in the gemstone to take her home. And she hopes that Amethyst will return to Gemworld as soon as she's ready to. So then, let's see where we at. Yes. Okay, so then once she, let's see, I'm skipping it. Okay, yeah, so she hopes that, let's see, she returns home and she's just like all frazzled. Her parents were super close to calling the police because they couldn't find her. And she doesn't know how to explain where she went other than that she was just having a dream or possibly a nightmare. And then we go back into Gemworld, and Sardonyx has to tell Lord Opal once again that he and his army have failed him, and they were unable to capture Amethyst because she's so powerful, even as inexperienced as she is. And she's only going to get more powerful once she learns to use her powers. So Sardonyx begs for another chance, and Lord Opal says he will spare his life, but he's no longer hired to capture the princess anymore. And then on the final page, go back to Earth, and Amy's parents are just getting ready for bed, and they're just confused where she went off to because they know that she like was gone for just a little bit amount of time. And Amy's chatting with her dog, and she's like, I just need to go back to Gemworld and prove that this really wasn't a dream at all and this was real. So she figures out how to make the portal again with her gemstone, and she's able to open it up, and then she walks through and transforms back into Amethyst. And unfortunately, she doesn't know, but Carnelian is waiting for her. And he just says, which, thought that's funny. He just says, the reports of her beauty don't do her justice, but her beauty will not save her. And he's just waiting for her. And from there, it's to be continued to the second issue.
There was a lot of meat on that bone, and you did a good job, Candis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, we got a little lost a couple times, but
no, you did fine.
I actually thought it was a really solid first issue because you get, even if you you didn't know you would read the preview, it gave you a lot of context on just like who she is, her abilities, the different villains. So I thought it was a solid first issue. Yeah. But excited to
Yeah. So Tony, you'll pick up the last one that we're going to cover tonight in the retro review, which is issue number 2. I think we got a nice action cover.
Yes. So reading issue 2, I got to admit, this issue might as well have been in Chinese because I had absolutely no idea what was happening. I didn't read any of the other issues. I vaguely know of Amethyst, so I was lost, man. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. Just they were chasing some blonde girl. That was it. That was the extent of my knowledge. But yeah, it picks up right where you left off. She's going to the portal, and she's being stalked, I guess, by some gentleman who's there to capture her or kill her. But he's awestruck by her beauty, and he has a change of heart. He's like, yeah, you know what? Instead of turning you over, I'm just going to take you hostage. And that's exactly what he does. So, here's a good point right here. They turn that dude. I don't even remember his name. I don't even think it's mentioned in this whole issue. Like the other good guy, the really strong guy, just turns into a tree. And this panel right here gave me Invasion of the Body Snatchers vibes. With a scream right at the end. Yeah.
That's Granch, right?
Yeah.
Granch, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Granch. So Granch here is he got turned into a tree by the I don't even remember this person's name. Some old witch. So that makes for a bad day. And then we cut to, I don't know the name of this place, so I called it Castle Grayskull.
That's funny you said that.
And it made sense to me, just go with what you know. So Fortress
it's
Opal.
Fortress Opal, yeah.
Yep. So now we know that it's Fortress Opal, and we have our Dark Lord Sardonyx talking to what was his name already?
Dark Opal. Sardonyx is talking to Dark Opal.
Yeah, Sardonyx is talking to Dark Opal. Okay. Yeah, and they're trying to trying to come up with a plan to capture Amethyst, and Amethyst and the guy whose name I already forgot.
Carnelia.
Yes, go off on the Battle Cat. Sticking with He-Man here, but then we cut back to Earth here, and it's her parents are looking for her again, and they don't think this is really weird. Like, hey, our daughter's been missing twice in 2 days. Maybe we want to put an air tag in her shoe or something, something. But yeah, we cut back to she's going back into Gemworld. That's what it is, Gemworld. But her dog actually somehow makes it through. And it's funny because they're not like 100% sure of what it is. They have all kinds of critters, but apparently not golden retrievers. So they a little bit confused about who this dog is, and this dog is able to escape the Castle Grayskull and go into what I call the Alice in Wonderland world, because you had like trees with faces, and it's very Alice in Wonderland-y, if that makes sense. It was really funny. But yeah, the Amethyst and her captor is getting very aggressive, I should say, and he is finding it harder and harder to ignore her beauty, and all of a sudden they are attacked by a snake, giant snake thing,
He's got a skull on the snake.
Yeah, Snake's got some tattoos.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
he did
I
some.
noticed that first time.
He's got some ink done. But the cat is able to make quick do of him and subdue the snake. Meanwhile, we cut back to Lassie here, and he's trying to find Amethyst, and he's attacked by some other canine species in Gemworld, but he's able to take out what looks to be the alpha dog of that pack, and the pack leader dies. Meanwhile, we cut back to Earth, and her parents are worried sick. They're calling the police again. Can you imagine being the cop in this town? Like, you've called me twice. You can't find your daughter. Like, did you even look in her room? Did you look in the closet? And then we cut back to a Gemworld, and the old witch is, grabbing some trackers here, and they're going after the trail of Amethyst here. Same thing with the Fortress World. What was it? Gosh, I already forgot. The Castle Grayskull here, Lord, where Sardonyx lives. It doesn't look like a good neighborhood. Maybe it's safe. I don't know. But yeah, they've got their plan here. They're going to conjure up some magic here that'll help the adventure of tracking Amethyst along. And so and this is where it gets a little weird. So as the Amethyst and her captor are going to their final destination, the captor pulls Amethyst off the steed here, and is like, it's really funny. I mean, it's not funny, but he's saying, this place is, good as any other. Let's as Lasso would say, stir some spaghetti sauce. But they're saved by the day, by her trusty dog. And yeah, it's interesting. So she's able to subdue the captor with, or distract enough the captor with her gem, and you would have thought that the cat tiger zebra hybrid would have been able to subdue the dog relatively quickly, but it didn't. It just momentarily phased it. But and here we learn that the dog's name is Taff.
Taffy.
T-A-F-F. Taff. Or Taffy. Taffy. Okay, I'm sorry. She calls him Taff for short. But yeah, she's able to her powers are similar to that of a Green Lantern. I got the gist of, if she can conjure it up. In this case, apparently she's using a shield. And previous one, she's able to use a dome, which is very reminiscent of Green Lantern. But yeah, she's able to conjure up a shield, but the Battle Cat is able to tear through it. Meanwhile, we cut to the other search party, and they're also ambushed by these giant wolf dog hybrid things. And it's I gotta admit, splash pages like this. When did this book come out?
83.
83.
Well, they just don't do splash pages like this anymore. Like, this is incredible. This is a lot of detail. Which I gotta say, I didn't grow up in this area, but I miss it. It's these old comics are something else, that's for sure. But look at all this action that's going on here. Yeah. That's a lot of color. Yeah. I can you imagine, like, nowadays you can be a colorist and use something like Adobe Creative Cloud to do everything. But look at all this attention to detail, like just as the colorist alone would have to do. That's insane. That is a lot. Yeah, a big battle ensues here, and yeah, it's crazy. I gotta tell you, like, how confused I was reading this issue. All of a sudden, this guy's got a 357 Magnum out of nowhere.
That was pretty confusing.
Yeah, like,
understand where that came
from. Where was that? Like, at the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, he should have used that. It's at least a 6-cylinder. He could have. All of a sudden, he's like the male Annie Oakley with this thing. He's just going to town with it, and he's able to you see him running off here in the distance on these velociraptor kangaroo hybrid animals, which was strange. Yeah, very confusing, because here you have him petting the snake, and at the time I didn't know the snake was the dude. I just thought he was just a guy who really enjoyed reptiles and amphibians. Just had this really special attachment to the snake. It was really strange, but yeah, through the magic, he can kind of see what's going on here, and that's going to wrap it up here. Like I said, incredibly confusing issue if you did not read the preview or the first issue. Like, I went straight into number 2. But honestly, I kind of like that. I kind of like learning about the character, as like, we've done this many times before where I wouldn't read the first issue. Lasso would take it. I would be very confused. But it's funny, I got to put the pieces together as he's reading it. Like, oh, okay, that's who that person is. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, that wraps up the second issue. And
so, general thoughts about what we read tonight. If you don't mind, I'll start. Yeah, it's 12 issues, 12 issue maxi series. So, if you don't mind, I'll start out tonight. It was mentioned here during the review. I did get very much Masters of the Universe vibes from this story. I mean, a lot. Yeah. Which was very popular at that time, that this came out. So I don't think She-Ra had been introduced yet, but there's definitely Masters of the Universe vibes in this story. I think, that's the first time I ever read the preview. And at first I thought the preview, because they don't really give you like any backstory on anything. Mm-hmm. But after rereading issue 1, that preview really helps, and I get it. From what I understand, the preview, the events that are happening in the preview take place, I think, between issues 4 and 5 in the maxi series, which is an interesting place to pick that up at, because you're still going to go several months. You're going to go, almost halfway through that series before you get to that part. But it's interesting, and I understand that choice because you want to have action. The headdress, I'm really mixed on. It's a cool visual, but at times I feel like it even ages her way over 20. And sometimes I looked at her, I'm like, this looks like something I saw Cher wear in concert.
Yeah, she did wear that, huh?
Yeah. So that's just kind of my general thoughts. Candice, what did you think about what we read tonight?
Yeah, overall, I pretty much enjoyed it. I think, definitely reading the preview was like helpful in the same reasons as you, where at first it is really confusing because you're just jumping into it. But then when I was reading that issue 1, then just everything made sense because I already knew who everybody was. Yeah. Because already in that first issue, there's just so much world building and learning about her powers and about her backstory and about all these different characters that it was helpful to actually have that for sure. I definitely want to keep reading the series. I do have, I think, maybe up to issue 6 or 7, I think. Okay. And I know they have some other series that came out afterwards, I believe. Yes. So I've collected when I can. I think even they've come out with some modern ones, some young adult ones, like just different ones. But I like her. I do like her. It's kind of fun when it's like she's 13, but then she just like grows up to this grown woman and kind of having like still that perspective of her younger mind, but then like just having all this like adult responsibility and like these guys creeping on her and like all of that.
Yeah, doesn't it feel kind of like creepy when?
Yeah, that was a little much for sure. Like that, a lot of these guys are just super slimy and
but at the same time too, Kitty Pryde is 13 years old on the Marvel side, and they're kind of doing the same thing. I'm not saying it's right, but they were doing the same thing. Yeah. This isn't just an Amethyst exclusive thing, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was just, I guess, like the time. I did also read when I was kind of just looking this up that some people actually were like, "Oh, was this like DC's version of trying to do like magic in a way?" But I don't really know if I could see a little bit, but I agree with you guys. I kind of got more of like a He-Man vibe for sure. Just like probably what was ever around during that time that was popular. I think any other thoughts? Definitely. It's a lot of characters to keep track of and remember all their names for sure. But I think once I keep reading, now that kind of like I already know all that, it'll just be more fun to dive into. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
And Mr. Signature King, your thoughts?
It's a character that I know absolutely nothing about. I don't think DC really utilizes this character anymore. But just by doing a quick research here, so the first issue we read is a key. It's the first appearance and cover of Amethyst, and it's about $3 in great shape.
Yeah.
But she was also a member of Young Justice in 2019. And that issue is actually going for more money than the original. If for those of you who care, I mean, I don't, but I forgot that she was part of Young Justice in that run. So that's kind of weird. I don't recall her being whatever, but yeah. So they still use her. Has there been a volume 2 for this?
There has. I looked to see the most recent thing published with her as like a headliner,
Yeah.
and that was like a teen reader type graphic novel called Amethyst Princess of Gemworld in 2021.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a volume 2, and there's been a couple specials in between as well. Yeah.
Like yeah.
So,
who knows? Maybe they'll cast Taylor Swift as Amethyst.
Maybe.
Well, we're still seeing her. She's going to be Dazzler.
Although they're saying Sabrina Carpenter now, so we'll see.
I saw that rumor going around.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, real funny story about Sabrina Carpenter. So my kids and my wife love her music. I didn't know who she was. They sent me to Panera Bread for a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I got it confused with the Sabrina Carpenter espresso. I thought that was the drink.
Oh.
So here I am at Panera Bread, and I was like, yeah, I need some bagels and a Sabrina Carpenter espresso. And the lady's like, dude, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, it says it right here. It's like, that's a song. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I'm an idiot.
It's not about espresso either.
I feel like that was my wife's version of like, oh yeah, go into the auto parts store and ask for blinker fluid. Like it's the same thing.
That's so funny.
Jackson Roykirk saying there were some animated shorts on her
a
while back, so that's something to look into as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun read, and I'm happy that you picked it, Candis. And make sure to check in with me too as you keep on reading if you continue to enjoy it or some thoughts.
For sure.
So, yeah, that'd be awesome. So we're going to move on to talking about our channels and our book show portion here at the end. Candis, would you like to go first?
Sure.
So when it comes to your channels, I incidentally did put a link in the description for this video of your YouTube and your Instagram. I know if we go to your YouTube, there's some playlists on there. Like, what would we find on there?
Yeah, so right now we're still holding out to finally get me an official channel. But somehow you guys want me on your shows.
Always.
So I always appreciate it when everybody invites me. It's always a good time. But I actually have a playlist of all of my different guest appearances on Omni X-Men and, JD's channel, Gary B's, such like stuff like that. Things from my Girl Shy Comic Girl, a whole miscellaneous. So if you kind of just want to like learn a little bit about me, and I show like a lot of comics I'm interested, or there's Lego builds in there with Justin and John. So yeah, definitely there's plenty to check out. And then of course like on my Instagram, when I do post, try to just share a lot of different things. Like I'm really into action figures and different toys and comics and just a lot of different pop culture things besides comics as well. So yeah. And then do you want me to dive into the
you can do your book show. Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to show.
Jackson Roykirk has some sympathy for you.
Oh, I love Gary. I think I've been on his show maybe 2 or 3 times. No, maybe 4 times. We did a watch of The Thing where I watched that for the first time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I picked like a miscellaneous of where like your typical DC and then just other ones that are not what you always think about. So
sure.
Actually, one thing I really liked that came out, I can't remember what year this was, but it was the crossover with the Looney Tunes and Batman, which I did end up reading the full trade for that, and it's actually really fun if you're into those kinds of cartoons because they do a version. Let me see if I can actually show you real quick. For each of the stories, like they do have one for Wonder Woman, which I'm sure you would like.
Yes, I have that one with Tasmanian Devil.
They show like a cartoon version of the story. Sometimes it's the exact same, but then they show a more realistic looking version. I don't know if it's this one, but like for example, let me show them that's not like where is it? Like down here is Elmer Fudd. But then I think do they have the cartoon example? Yeah, then they'll have like a cartoon example. So it's kind of interesting how they humanize the different characters. So I think even like Tweety's in it, and it's like a bald little man. It's really fun.
Nice.
So I like reading those a lot. So I collected some of the single issues, and then around the same time, they just had variants that were related to Looney Tunes. That wasn't actually like this inside wasn't actually the story, but friend Haley ended up getting me this Aquaman that was with as a mermaid, which is classic.
Nice.
So I kind of like was collecting a bunch of those. Then I really love a lot of the other series that they've done with bringing back a lot of cartoons, like besides Looney Tunes, like from our past. So they did a bunch with Hanna-Barbera and ones like that. So I have a Dan Parent cover of the Flintstones series that DC did, which Dan Parent is one of the main artists for Archie.
Yep.
So one of the cons that I saw him at, I ended up picking up that variant because I didn't know that he did one. And that's a fun series of kind of like these are more, and I guess kids could read them, but it's definitely a more mature like for the people that grew up with them.
Sure.
And there also was like a Scooby-Doo Apocalypse as well that I still haven't finished the series. I've tried rereading it a million times, and for whatever, like it's good, but for whatever reason, I just haven't finished it. And that's kind of like a different take on how the Mystery Machine Gang like gets together, and kind of more of a like futuristic, I guess, apocalyptic version.
Zoinks.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just got excited. I just grabbed a bunch of things.
No, you're fine.
So one thing I did a couple years ago for my 30th birthday, I wanted to kind of collect comics that were the cover art or the cover date was October 93. So year and month I was born, and kind of just like find comics that I would be interested in. So a couple that I found was one of the Catwoman's.
Ooh.
And it's all cover date of October 93. I just thought it'd be cool because I wasn't, of course, like I was born that year. I wasn't collecting. So I got like that one and the Batman animated series, Batman like 500, a whole bunch of different ones. And I collected like other things besides DC, lots of Marvel, and I think like there's like some Barbie and different ones like that. So those are just like fun too, kind of like I was supposed to do like 30 comics by my 30th, and it was all actually harder to find than I planned. But I think at least I got half. So that's something I'm continuing to still look for. And then just a couple more.
Sure.
I had to show Chrissy Zulo, which is one of my favorite cover artists, and I've met her a couple times at cons. She's like the sweetest. She does a lot of DC and Marvel covers. I really like the Halloween series that she did with Batman, Wonder Woman, Harley and Ivy, just a whole bunch of the different characters. I really like her style. Super cute, very like Disney-fied. So anytime she has variants, I will just get them for her. And then last one, or actually two, was a Justice League variant that I really liked, of course, because it was a Beetlejuice homage with my girl Zatanna. So I had to, of course, get that. And I got it signed by Joe Quinones when I saw him at a con.
Nice.
And then my final, because I just had a lot of favorites. I haven't talked to DC in a while, so I was just like, I want to show everything. One of my favorite artists is definitely Lee Bermejo. He does amazing art, and I think the only one he did interiors that I really liked was Batman Noel, which is like a retelling of Christmas Carol, Batman style. And this one is just like basically a portfolio of a lot of the work that he's done. I still want to get my hands on his art book.
If I remember, they tried taking his covers and putting them together to make like a story. I think that was kind of the concept on that.
Yeah, definitely. And so he's one I like collecting his variants for sure. He's definitely on my. I don't know if he does cons at all, but he's definitely would be on my list to meet because he's one of my favorite artists for sure. But
Yeah, I met him. He does cons.
Oh, you did? Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign Batman Damned.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Very controversial issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know Signature King, you like seeing some of those signatures that she showed off in her book
I
show.
did. There's some that
Yeah.
I never had the opportunity to get.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I got
So-
a lot of mine at C2E2.
Oh yeah, Tony and I actually were at C2E2 this year.
That was
Together.
the year I didn't go.
Yes.
Oh.
But I'll tell you, if you look back at your messages before it happened, I sent you a message. I said, "Are you going to C2E2 this year?" And you said, "No, I'm not making it this year." And then I thought, then I'm not rubbing it in
Oh.
because I would not have dissed you.
I would have been like, wait, I gotta go see it.
Yep. Oh, hello, real quick, and Muobunga to White Tiger Cool Calm Collected. Awesome. Mr. Signature King, is there any books left in this room for you to show?
As you can see, they're still in here. They're just, now they're, I'm putting them in boxes. I didn't. So yeah, well, this is kind of a good segue into, what's coming on my channel. So I did a lot of the building already. I didn't want to put that into content because one, it would have been really boring, and two, you'd have realized how absolutely I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to like home remodeling or a building. Like just putting something into the wall, looking for that stud like 50 times. Like, where the hell is this thing? It's supposed to be, oh, here it is, like 50 holes later. But yeah, I got my desk built. I got the backdrop built. There's a lot more that I have to do, but I'm to the point now where I need to start packing up on this side at night because it keeps the noise down. And then, as I have time throughout the week or, because I telework, I can move stuff over there. That's the stuff I'm going to film and make content out of. I'm really excited about it. Getting some space. It's going to be great. Now I can play around with some of the camera angles I've always wanted to do. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. So speaking of Chicago and C2E2, that was the book show I was going to do tonight. I was just looking at some of your content on your channel. By the way, everybody go subscribe.
Link in the description for this video.
Yes, I was looking at some of your comic bestie stuff. That's pretty cool. With your friend Haley, I think.
Yeah.
Haley,
Yeah,
okay.
my girlfriend.
Okay, yeah. That's so you both are local to that community. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. I met her just like I think was on Justin's Comic Origins, and I was like, this girl looks cool. She's from Chicago. I'm gonna hit her up. And then we became friends, and now we are comic book friends and personal and real life friends, and yeah, it's just really cool to just like meet someone like that. But now she's like literally one of my best friends.
Awesome.
Well, thanks. It's No Good Comics that does that show, right? I met him a bunch of times, and he still never invited me on that show.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's never invited you on that show.
He's never invited me on that show.
Wow.
That's okay.
Wow.
I'll meet him again this year. His dad's coming to a con. I'm sure he's going to be right behind, so I'll have to put him in a friendly headlock or something.
Well, I will tell you that I have reached out to Justin in scheduling him. He's been on the show before, but scheduling him again. And he turned me down. And then I reached back out earlier this month, and he turned me down again. And you want to know what his excuse was for turning me down earlier this month?
Vegas?
No. That's my birthday, and I have plans that day.
Oh, Justin.
Yes, you have plans right here. Yeah.
Yeah, who goes out on their birthday?
He's still got some of that young, crazy blood in him, I think.
Yeah, poor guy. But yeah, and on my channel, I had a video for the first time ever hit 100,000 views.
That's awesome. Way to go.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's still climbing. I think last time I looked, I was pushing like 100 and just broke 121,000 right in the
That's
middle.
awesome. Congratulations.
So, and it's got 1,000 likes, but like 9 comments. So that's like a weird ratio.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that if you have a video that's just skyrocketing, don't upload another one because it'll knock it off the recommendations. So I'm gonna let it go and do its thing. But but yeah, book show. There is a video on this on my YouTube channel, but you know, it's so cool. I got this at C2E2, and it was the sole reason why I went.
I thought I was the sole reason why you went.
A close second.
Okay.
Because I made the plans for C2E2 before we confirmed our plans by like a day. But yeah, so my cousins and I are really good fans of this, are really huge fans of this movie. And when we learned that they were all going to be there, it's like, oh, a no-brainer. We're all going to meet in Chicago. We're going to get pictures, and you know, I'm going to get this book signed, and it's really awesome. And that's, you know, Starship Troopers #1, the movie comic, trying to fight the glare here. It's not really working, but yeah, I got a very rare Denise Richards signature on this book. She was also going to be there. According to the census, there are 3 books that have these people on it, and I have one of 3. The other 2 I got to hold because they were also at Chicago. But yeah, I got Casper Van Dien, Dana Meyer, Jake Busey, which he quickly becoming my favorite person, and Michael Ironside.
Wow.
So very awesome.
Yeah, great signatures.
Yeah. Hey, when you're the king, you got to do what you got to do. So this book is the when you went to go see the movie in theaters, you either got this for free. I think they sold some at some LCSs, but like in major cities, probably Chicago. But yeah, I didn't grade it for the grade. I graded it for the signatures, and it came out beautifully. Dana Meyer with her hot pink paint marker, killing it. One thing I noticed all the signatures. Denise Richards is the only one who didn't write her character name, so she just wrote Denise Richards. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I don't care, but when I got it back, I was looking at the label, and she's the only one that didn't write her person's name. So,
was she the first one who signed it?
No.
Okay, I'd say if she was the first, that would make sense because she didn't know everyone else was going to sign it. But
it went Jake Busey, Michael Ironside, then Denise Richards, then Dana Meyer, then Casper Van Dien. So, but yeah, no one was in the Casper Van Dien aisle. The main guy in the movie, I could just walk right up to him at C2E2, hang out for 5 minutes, talk about nothing, get his signature, then leave. It was wild. Yeah, I was stuck in the Denise Richards line for 3 hours.
Really?
And I was only like 15 people back.
Wow.
Yeah. Lasso, you're lucky you came on the day you did, because that would have been a really boring meetup, just hanging out with me in Denise Richards line for half the day. Literally half the day. And then as soon as we got out of the Denise Richards line, we had to go get our photo op. So we were right back in a different line.
What day was that? Was that a Friday or Saturday?
We did the Starship Trooper stuff on Saturday, but I was there all 3 days.
Pretty busy.
Yeah, I was there all 3 days.
Yeah, Saturdays.
That was my first time ever at C2E2. That was wild.
Yeah, I know. It's such a good con.
It
yeah,
is.
this year I just didn't go, and it just was like I need to save some money. I like the Artist Alley. I get lost in there for like a million hours, but it's such a good con. It's really fun.
As big as it is, it was incredibly organized.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially like you have Artist Alley, where it's just like A through Z. You're able to find who you need to find usually, and
well, I didn't realize there was an app until Sunday.
Oh yeah, I don't think I use it that much, but I feel like that is helpful if you haven't been there for sure.
Well, because if I came with like a stack of books. I came with like 100 books to get signed.
Oh my god, yeah.
Or maybe not. I think it was like 70 books. But anyway, so like looking for Bob Smith, I didn't know where Bob Smith was. Looking on a map, I have no clue, so I didn't know where to look. But long story short, don't go to the Jill Thompson line. You'll be there forever.
I got through my line pretty fast with her compared to you.
Oh my god, I was there for the first time for 40 minutes. I just left because like this line's not moving anywhere, which is where I don't even know where it went.
There's only like 5 people in line.
5 people in line,
and she's not signing for anyone.
She didn't sign a single one of them. She's talking about her personal health issues, and it's getting very graphic. Very related to the female anatomy. I was just like, dude, we're at con. Like, maybe take that offline somewhere. Like, There's one guy who's literally standing there holding his money and his book,
Just take
making
my
eye
money.
contact. He's just like, I want to give you this. Like, you're preventing me from
Take
giving
my
this.
money.
I'm so glad I finally got her, but like I can say that I'm done. That was a bad
Never
experience. I'm not doing that anymore. No way.
That's funny.
Now looking back, it's pretty funny, but at the time,
it's funny looking back.
Not in the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
So-
that's another story.
On my channel, there is the back issue of the week YouTube short, which celebrates the Brave and the Bold comic book. It celebrated an anniversary in the month of June. So I looked at Brave and the Bold Bronze Age issue, which had Batman and the Demon Etrigan in it. So that's currently on my channel. My comic book editions was a holdover from last week, which was a big C2E2 grail for me. Something from Jenny Frizen's personal collection. That video currently at 367 views, which is really good for a video for me.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with that. If you haven't checked out that video yet, please take the opportunity to do so. I would love for you to hear the story. I know it's a longer video, but I kind of tell the story. I tell the story of what it is, how I got it, what happened while I was getting it, and then do a grade reveal because it was graded. So an unboxing. So that's currently on my channel. What's coming up on my channel, obviously another back issue of the week YouTube short. Candice, you might be interested in tomorrow's because it's a character from the Archie comic book universe that's featured tomorrow that is actually celebrating an anniversary in the month of June as well. So yeah, I will share that tomorrow on my channel. Then I'll have a comic book editions video on Tuesday. That includes a AOK from Andre, my friend in Brazil, and an AOK from Jason, Southern Comic Geek, which includes an autograph. And then it's some Bronze Age comic books, too, that I added into my collection. So look for that dropping on Tuesday. There is a special super show live Friday night on my channel with Super Russ 9000, with Tim the Comic Collector is coming back for this, with Mr. Gretzky 9966 and myself. The four of us are going to do a Superman-themed super show Friday night, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern on my channel. So look for that. I'm really excited. I haven't seen Tim in a coon's age. So
yeah, that's a rare Pokemon for sure.
Yeah, that is. So time for my book show portion right now. As we revealed earlier in the stream, it was a no-go on Crypto's Golden Biscuit. But my LCS was selling these for half off. So that was a win.
Okay.
So Amethyst Princess of Gemworld. When it comes time for this comic book, I have really weird in this comic book. So I mentioned this on Instagram because I showed issue 1 today. Mm-hmm. As a childhood collector, I had a classmate. She collected that comic book. So I was kind of familiar with it, and I read some in-between issues. I myself have, out of the 12-issue maxi-series, I have issue 1, issue 4, issue 7, and issue 12, which is very odd. But that's what I have. And then, Candice, besides the preview, there's another, did you know this? There's another Amethyst issue to that series?
That because like right after that, or is it just another?
It's still considered part of it. And it's an annual. They did an annual for
that. I just haven't read it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
So that's what I thought I would show as my book show is the Amethyst Princess of Gemworld annual. Okay. And because that's actually my favorite cover out of the issues that I have.
I picked that one up because I was like, I haven't read it yet, but I did. Yeah, I really like that cover.
Yeah, Tim the who? Tim the what? Tim the huh? Yeah, Tim is going to be on my channel, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, for my book show, I decided to do this Amethyst Princess of Gemworld annual because I thought it was fun for the funsies of it. Yeah. Candice, you survived your very first Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun, and finally got to read Amethyst with you guys. So
yeah, like I said, keep reading. Let me know if you're digging it or what you're thinking of it too, and maybe I'll dig back on the app as well and catch up a little bit since I've kind of got reintroduced to these characters. So would you ever come back and do the show again? No pressure. It's only a live show.
Of course.
Awesome. We would love to have you on. It was fun finally getting the chance to collaborate with you.
Yeah, I know. like I was telling you backstage, I was like, I feel like I've known you for so long, and we haven't even met on camera yet. So it was really cool.
Yeah. This is our first on camera, so yeah, and maybe sometime there'll be a show or something. We'll get a chance to hang out a little bit at a show. I think that would be a lot of fun. You and I aren't actually all that far apart, so good train ride in, and I'm golden. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Mr. Tony, I hope you have a great week. Thank you for helping out to the show. That pretty much wraps up the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. Share a book show with us on Instagram using the hashtag Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Have a great night. Bye.